Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It's that time of the week again where we count down the 10 hottest cards of the week. As always, we're looking at two major pieces of criteria when we select our top 10. First, we're looking for cards that had a substantial percentage increase this week. Secondly, we are looking for an actual increase in sales. We want to see these cards change hands, not just an increase in asking price. That way we can filter out some of the market manipulation that does occur out there. And before we get into it, just a fast reminder, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pre-order Commander Legends products there. If you grab one of the Commander Legends draft booster boxes, for example, it comes down to $121.50 after you use the promo code. That does include shipping in the United States. Also, they have a lot of other stuff on the website too. Check it out. They do have double Masters booster boxes still, as a matter of fact. Those go down to $297 after you use the promo code, and again, that does include shipping in the US. Also, too, whenever you use the code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated, so thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 10 is Skyclave Apparition. This goes up $1.65 to $4.54 for a 57% increase this week. Now, this is a new card from Zendikar Rising that is simply going up because of the old-fashioned reason that it is seeing a lot of play in a lot of different places. Standard, it's in Mono White Aggro, Boros, Winota, and more. Pioneer, you'll find it in Spirits there and more decks in that format. In Modern, it's in Death and Taxes and Spirits and other places there as well. Legacy, Death and Taxes, Esper Vial, and yes, even other places within Legacy. On top of that, it is currently seeing some Commander play as well. Number 9 is Martyrs Cry. It goes up $1.76 to $8.64 for a 26% increase. Now, this card is on the reserve list. It does see some Commander play, but this has felt more like a panic buy this week to me than anything. So many reserve list cards have been bought out recently that there are still a lot of players out there looking for cheaper reserve list cards that they think could see an increase at some point. I think this falls in that category. Number 8 is Cloak and Dagger, and this is from that time period of Magic where there was a recession in the game, less packs were opened, and sometimes when there's a little attention on these cards, they tend to get spiky, even the uncommons at times, and this goes up $1.90 to $3.75 this week. That's a 102% increase. Now, because this does interact with rogues, this has seen increased play in Commander and Anowin the Rune Thief builds. Some players are building around that card from scratch, others are getting cards like this to upgrade the Zendikar Rising Sneak Attack Commander deck. Also, this has seen increased play in Zareth San the Trickster builds as well. Number 7 is Trade Routes, and we have 3 copies to talk about today. The 8th edition one goes up 74 cents to $3.97 for a 23% increase. The 9th edition copy up $1.43 to $5.69. That's a 34% increase. And the Mercadian Mask copy goes up $1.97 to $7.88 for a 33% increase. This is another card that is seeing increased Commander play. You'll find this in Omnith Locus of Creation builds and Charix the Raging Isle decks too. Number 6 is Eternity Vessel up $2.76 to $7.14 for a 63% increase if you're doing the math at home. This again is another card seeing increased Commander play in Omnith Locus of Creation builds. This was also in a Obun Moldaya Ancestor build on Commander Versus about a week ago. Obun is another one of those cards where a lot of players are either building around it from scratch, or they're picking up cards like this to upgrade the Zendikar Rising Lands Wrath Commander deck. Number 5 is Stone Calendar. This and the next 4 cards are all on the reserve list. It goes up $4.79 this week to $24.06 for a 25% increase. This does see some Commander play, but ultimately it feels like this card has either been targeted for a buyout or has been drying up due to panic buys. Number 4, Bone Dancer. Exact same story here. It is on the reserve list. It does see a little bit of play in Commander, but for the most part, it's just drying up now in the secondary marketplace online. It goes up this week $4.91 to $10.99 for an 81% increase. Number 3, good old Baron Sengir is back on the reserve list. It goes up $5.68 to $25.95 for a 28% increase. So this is another card that sees a little Commander playing, not all that much, and it was a target of a buyout not too long ago. You all remember when this card was spiking pretty aggressively. Since then, it has started to come back down, but this week it does surge back up again. And that could happen for a few different reasons. It could be the beginning of a follow-up buyout. It could be just simply now that we're past the buyout, the secondary market is just trying to find the correct price point for this card. Or thirdly, it could have been a panic buy based off the recent buyout. When players see the card coming down in price at some point, they feel comfortable jumping on it. so they can have a copy before the next buyout occurs. Number 2 is Scorched Ruins, up 802 to 41.99 for a 24% increase. Now, this, much like the last few cards, is on the reserve list, but this is seeing a fair amount of play compared to those other cards. It does see play in Commander Kozilek the Great Distortion builds and others in the format. And that Kozilek deck did get a little push recently from a Zendikar Rising card, Forsaken Monument. With that being said, though, this card also has shown traits of maybe being a targeted buyout at times, or at the very least being swept up in some panic buys. Number 1 is Preacher, up 29.70 to 69.50. That's a 75% increase, another card on the reserve list. Now, this was the target of a buyout a few weeks ago, and then it dipped down a little bit. Last week it started to move up again. As a matter of fact, this is the only repeat card from last week's top 10 that we see this week. Now, due to the rate that it is moving here, I would say this is a buyout, but I do think it is a speculative buyout. There are some reasons you might actually want to pick up this card that do tie into gameplay. The first is this is a cleric, and it has been seeing increased commander play in Aura Skyclave Hierophant builds. Secondly, it's a mono-white human with a pretty unique ability. Remember that controversial Walking Dead secret lair? There are players interested in building around the Rick Grimes card in Commander, Rick Steadfast Leader, and this would fit into those builds. That does it for this week's Top 10. Join us this weekend, though, for the regular episode of the Market Watch where we deep dive into all aspects of the secondary market. Until then, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.